I get this a lot of times. I want this thing, Ann. I want you to teach me how to do this. But I'm like, but that won't work unless the foundation is there and we start here. And then there's this, right? And then we can do the thing that you want to do. But I can't start building a roof. I can't put on a roof if there's no house, if there's no building, right? And
Right.
and that happens a lot. A big piece of what I do is help people with their marketing, but it's not all of it. That is the third thing we really do with them is the marketing. We've got to get their offers and their foundation right. And then we've got to get their positioning right before we ever market at all. Welcome to the Expert in You podcast, the show where we have real conversations with established founders, firm owners, and B2B experts selling their expertise as services. We talk about what's happening now inside experienced businesses where positioning, influence, and growth directly affect opportunities and contracts. I'm Ann Carden. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Expert in You podcast. I'm your host, Ann Carden, and today I have a guest with me that I've actually known for a long time. He's in my local area, and it's not very often I interview people in my local area. So I am excited to have Jeff Koziatek with me. Jeff, hey, welcome to the show.
And thanks so much for having me. I am very excited to be here. You do amazing things. And I think the first time that we met, you were speaking on stage, and your insights and wisdom and perspective are just off the charts. So it is an honor to be a guest on your show. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. That's a really nice thing to say. I appreciate it so much. But you have quite the background too. So we're going to dive into some really cool things Jeff has done. And just to tell you what he does now, he actually is a leadership coach for executives, and he teaches a lot and works a lot around values and courage. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that, but we're also going to dive into how Jeff is doing business, what's working, what's not working, those strategic conversations you all love, where I give you a peek behind other people's businesses or into other people's businesses. So Jeff, I'm just super excited to have you here. He sent me his two recent books. One is called Blueprint for Value, 52 Habits to Discover and Strengthen Your Personal Worth. And the other is Blueprint for Value, 52 Habits to Reveal and Affirm Personal Worth in Your Team. So yes, you can pick these up. Where can they get these?
They can go to coreauthenticity.com and click on books. You can get it as an ebook or as a paperback. Everything is on Amazon.
And they are a really easy read too. I will tell you, I love the way you laid them out. They're super easy to look through and get through. So, you can check those out. All right. So let's dive into the good stuff.
Let's go.
You have been coaching for how many years now?
11.
Okay.
I guess 12 now, because I got certified in 2014.
Okay. And you're certified with John C. Maxwell.
John C. Maxwell, and I'm also certified with the Values Conversation, and that's led by Jeff Arthur. That was my first certification, and then I added John later, and then picked up some training in emotional focused therapy and positive intelligence.
Very cool. So give us a quick story on how you got into coaching, because I know that he is also a keynote speaker too, by the way. So I want to put that out there. He's actually been performing and been on stages as a keynote and a performer for over 25 years. Is that right, Jeff?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's been a while.
It has. When I first saw you and when I first met you, I saw you doing things like on a ball and on stage, actually doing performances. And then it led him into what he does now. So I want to talk about that first, and then how you kind of made this shift into coaching and writing books and doing the great things you're doing now. Yeah.
So as a kid, I got two messages. One was intentional, and it was from my parents. They said, find something you love to do, make that your job. I love art and people. So anything art and people related, I was in. The second message was not intentional. No one ever said it, but it was implied. And that message was, you are what you do. So I quickly connected my worth to my work. And so pursuing art and people, like that career, whether it was photography or video production or event management or my booking agency or the entertainment company where we managed national touring acts and produced videos, or whether I was acting on stage or in film or juggling or stilt walking, all of that made me worthy. And if I wasn't doing that, if I was taking breaks or vacations, I had a problem because my worth would drop. At least that's how I felt at the time. And so my love for people and desire to become a better actor, a better performer, that led me to learn more about the human condition and why we do what we do, so that I could better represent that on stage and I could write about it in my plays and in my videos. Years down the road, which is now years in the past, I had a conversation with a guy that changed my life, and that was Jeff Arthur over at the Values Conversation. Mm-hmm. And in doing that, I started to separate my worth from my work. I started to recognize that I was the performer, not my performance. Mm-hmm. That was a huge, huge shift. And so I could step back and say, well, just because I can do this doesn't mean I have to. Mm-hmm. I learned all the performing as a way to survive and prove myself. And as I worked with Jeff, I was able to step back and say, okay, well, what's really inside? Who is my core authentic self? And what is that all about? And so when I had a chance to breathe, I look back and say, okay, I love listening. I love asking questions. I love understanding why we do what we do and why we don't do what we want to do. And I thought, oh, that really aligns with coaching. That's a great fit. So that's how I switched into the coaching bit. And then the keynotes come out of my entertainment background. I like being on stage. I think it's fun. I think it's fun to inspire crowds and engage with them and provide something that shifts their perspective just a little bit. And so that comes out of the entertainment stuff. But the love for people and the question that's always been there.
I don't think we can be an advisor or a coach or a consultant if we don't love being around people and or a speaker if we don't love that side of it. How did you start to combine your entertainment background on stage with the leadership talks and presentations that you did? How did you put those two things together and make that impactful?
I am struggling to answer this question.
I told him I wouldn't ask any questions he wouldn't know the answers to. And here I stumped him right out of the gate.
Second question. Well, it just comes natural. I didn't think about it. It just, as an entertainer, as a comedy juggler, I would do about a 45-minute, 60-minute show. Mm-hmm. And maybe 5 to 10 minutes of it was actual juggling. The rest of it was relationship building with the audience.
Oh, interesting.
So the tricks were always an accessory to the show. And the show was really about connecting with the audience and really building or offering a safe space for people to have a laugh, like a gut-busting laugh next to a total stranger. So it was always about offering safety. So when I shifted to keynoting, the plan is still the same. It is to offer my audience safety to relax, to laugh, and to really explore honestly some concepts that can help them both in their personal and professional life.
You should be teaching some of that, Jeff, to people like me. I always say I'm not funny. I mean, I think I'm funny. No one else thinks I'm funny. So
I think you got a great sense of humor.
But no, thinking about that, I was thinking, gosh, how many people are out there teaching speaking and presentations and communication and all those things, how to build a speaking business and do all of that. But really, I don't know anyone that is teaching how to mesh a little bit of entertainment into your presentation. There's a thought for you.
Maybe we'll turn that into an online course.
There you go. I don't know if it would have the same impact. I think they would have to have some of Jeff in that.
Yeah.
But no, I really believe, especially corporations, people are looking to be more entertained these days. We don't need more information, right? And so if you're paid as a keynote, you have to show up with something very different. And you were able to do that so effectively. And you've been so successful as a keynote. I think there's something there.
when we ask people to take an hour out of their day to sit down and listen to a keynote speaker, they are not looking for a detailed diagnostic on stuff. Like if they want the information, I always tell them just buy them a book and give them the hour back. But if we're going to ask them to sit there, then it's about being moved. It's about connecting. It's about feeling seen and just picking up that emotional fuel to keep moving forward. And with some practical tips in there, but the focus is really about the connection piece. And so taking a straitjacket escape while standing on a ball as a way to illustrate a larger story.
Yeah, because we can all do that.
Or if it's throwing things in the air and catching, or balancing a table on your face, or whatever it is, all of those are like accent pieces to the larger story. And so it just seemed to fit.
I've never done any of those things in a keynote or in a presentation yet. So I see new things. If my next podcast release, I have a table on my face, you'll get that. Now, you still do keynote and you still do all of that, but where did you decide to pivot into actually the coaching? I know you said you were already connecting and you were good, and it was natural to care about people and ask questions and things like that. But you're talking about two very different business models. You're speaking and what you did for years in the entertainment and events and all of that kind of thing. That's a very different model from
just a little bit
coaching business, right? So when you came into the coaching space, how did you make that shift from a business standpoint?
Okay, so when I started working with Jeff, and this was back in 2012, so not that long ago, and working with him, shifting from I am my performance to my performance comes from me. I am the performer. I'm the human behind this. What I do comes from me. It doesn't define me. So making that shift and recognizing that my worth did not come from my work, but that it was intrinsic and never changes, that fundamental shift changed everything. So I was able to step back and say, okay, my photography business, my video business, those can be hobbies that write nice checks. The performing, and I was doing 350 shows every year on top of the video production. It was a lot. And I lied to myself. And I told myself that I could do this when in reality, I was burning out every fall. Like it was bad, but I wouldn't be honest with the results because I am what I do. I couldn't stop.
Yeah. I do want to interject for just a second too, for the audience. A lot of speakers also burn out. I don't interview a lot of entertainers on my show, really, but speakers, people that try to build a speaking business and they have nothing on the back end. They have no business on the back end. It's just all about them and speaking. That is a burnout model that a lot of people don't realize. And so I'm really glad you brought that up because it just means you have to do more time. You have to do more travel, more whatever to keep making more money. And it is just it's a model people just burn out with.
Yeah, 100%. And so when I worked with Jeff, everything shifted. I got certified to do coaching in 2014. And then I started building my speaking and my coaching business. And by 2017, I was like, yeah, I want to do this full time. And that came out of my entertainment career. I often tell people entertainment gave me a golden ticket fast pass across all kinds of social boundaries.
Yes.
So I've done more than 5,000 presentations all over the country. And I only say that because those presentations were in front of corporations. They were leadership retreats. They were sales kickoffs. They were conferences, but they were also nightclubs and libraries and early childhood centers. I was all over the place, no matter ethnic background, religious background, political background, economic background. I'm everywhere. And I noticed that no matter where I was or who was in front of me, everyone was wrestling with the same questions. And I thought, man, I could ignore that and just stay in my lane of entertainment and looking to offer safety and maybe shift a perspective, but mostly provide laughter, or I could address that issue. And so that's what led me into the coaching. That's what led me into the speaking. And so from 2014 to 2017, I realized that I had a message that could really impact my audiences and take them beyond just a 30-minute experience of their core authentic self, where they drop their masks that they use to survive and just have that genuine laugh. And I thought, okay, well, let's take this serious and let's really dive in. But there was a problem. The problem, Ann, was exactly what you just highlighted. I was doing 350 shows and I had the videos and the photography, and I'm married and I've got kids and there's the house, and our lifestyle was built around 350 shows. So there was no time to really grow and develop the keynotes and the coaching. So I was frustrated for years. And then 2020 rolls along with COVID.
That just pushed you right into it, didn't it?
Yeah, I was like, man, if only I had the time. And then boom, my whole calendar gets erased. Be
careful
overnight.
What you ask for.
Yeah. I was the only one working at the time. My wife was staying at home. So this put us in a really interesting spot because our bills stayed loyal, but the income stopped.
Unfortunately. Right.
Yeah. But I had the time. I'm like, okay, great. Now I can really focus on this, but how do we pay our bills? Thankfully, the payroll protection program was there, the PPP, and I was able to take advantage of that. And I had a bit of a cushion, a runway to take care of bills and do this and really get this other stuff going. So that by the time COVID opened up, I came out of that, and in the keynotes and coaching that I had started, I got trained on in 2014, really wanted to grow in 2017. Now it was finally up and running.
One of the things that is so hard for people when they start a coaching or a consulting business, some kind of professional service business, is getting clients. And you already had those doors open. How did you basically sell your services when they knew you as an entertainer? They didn't know you as a coach who did leadership and value and courage and all of those things. How did you easily shift that identity in yourself? And then how did you get them to see you in a different light so they would invest in your services? I'm curious about getting into your head a little bit here.
Earlier, you talked about speakers that make it all about themselves and burnout. I think there are two different types of entertainers. There's the entertainer that says, hey, look at me, watch me do this amazing thing. And they hit you up with this big trick and this big trick and this big trick. And then there's the other entertainer that says, hey, I want to invite you into an experience. And we're going to hang out. We're going to spend some time together. We're going to connect and laugh. And so it's not so much about the entertainer as it is the relationship. And so that's the approach that I've been taking, or that I was taking, so that when I started promoting, I'm out there doing the Juggling Jeff comedy show. And then now it's time for the commercial. Oh, and by the way, I can do some mindset core belief coaching for you as well. The audience was ready to receive that because it was about the relationship. It wasn't about watch me do this stuff. And so that already happened from stage. And then
you had such an advantage starting your business then, coming from that world, already being on stages and in front of people and having relationships. You really did have an advantage over a lot of coaches that take certification and then they have to also learn the marketing side. You had already done all of that and selling yourself.
Well, yeah, yes and no, because the marketing that I did as an entertainer to get to that number 5,000 was go out, do the best job I could as a performer, pass out a bookmark that drove people to a website, and then wait for the phone to ring. That was the marketing. So it was do a great job, the best job that I could, make sure people knew how to get a hold of me, and then wait. And I would get about 700 requests a year. I took 350 of them, and then we would do it again the next year and the next year and the next year. So when I shifted to keynotes and coaching, I did not want to do 350 keynotes a year. No, how about 40 max? And then we do the coaching. Well, the coaching is all confidential. That's not on stage for everybody to see and sample my services. So how do we get the word out for that? And then with the keynotes, we're not doing 350 keynotes. So now instead of reaching hundreds of thousands of people every year, it's more in the thousands, tens of thousands. So it's a very, very different pool. So I struggled with that initially. So I'm like, I don't know how to market myself. Because it was all just go out there, do it, let everybody see it. So the transition to intentional marketing was bumpy.
Yeah. Well, it is for a lot of people too, although you did still have relationships and things. So I would think it would have still been easier for you. You already had what I call coming to the table with assets. You already had assets and things that you had done. So how did you then get those first coaching clients? What did you do?
Well, right after I got certified, I reached out and let people know that I was doing the coaching. And so we did it for free.
Oh,
right out the gate. I'm like, hey, this is what I'm doing. It's brand new. And would you be my guinea pig? Let me mess with your head a little bit.
So I want to talk about this because so often people are afraid to really step into that role. They're afraid to get out there and talk to people and tell people. When I came in deciding to help people build businesses, I had already sold a lot of businesses, and I was like, I really think I want to help other people with all of my years of experience. And it was really an easy transition for me because I was already around business owners networking, and they knew me and they knew I had sold businesses. They knew I was still building businesses. So my first clients came from just asking some of the people that I knew, hey, let me help you with your business and make sure my skills will translate or transfer to someone else, just to kind of validate that. And so it was actually a really easy transition, but I was kind of already in that world. But you kind of were too, really, when you really think about it, that you were able to just reach out. But a lot of people are very afraid to actually get out there and put themselves out there and let people know what they're doing. And it really holds them back.
Well, and where does the fear come from? There's a lot of fear of rejection there, and not only from other people, but then if it doesn't work, who am I?
Right.
Did I do something wrong? And that goes all the way back to what we talked about earlier, the separation of work and worth.
Yes.
It's hard to take a risk when everything is on the line.
It is. I would like to ask you, have you worked with clients that were not a good fit and worked with clients that are a good fit? Did you go through that? That's always a thing that people go through as well.
Who doesn't?
Okay, I would love to dive into that a little bit, because one of the things that people don't realize is a lot of your growth comes from who you don't want to work with, who isn't a good client or a good fit for you, and who is. And I had to go through all of that as well in my services to figure out where's my sweet spot, what should I be doing, and who should I be working with. So you went through that as well.
So I'm a big values guy, and I know that values has picked up, and lots of people are talking about it now in 2026, which I think is great. We should talk about that. So back in 2014, getting certified with the values conversation, I think our values color everything that we do. And when we're aligned and our values are being met, we're in a good spot. We can show up as the champion. When our values are not being met, then that invites what I call the challenger mindset, and everything changes. So when I'm looking for clients, I'm looking for people that share at least 2 of my 4 professional values. So we need to have alignment on either collaboration, creativity, excellence, or perseverance. So those are the 4. And if we have alignment on at least 2, we can work together. If we don't, it is going to be difficult. So I'm looking for alignment on values. And then the other thing is, I've had some clients come in and they just want to learn my system. They just want to pick up additional tools to put in their tool belt. And I'm like, that is not how my coaching works. I'm not a transaction. No, I'm not a transaction. Right. And I'm not Home Depot. I'm not Lowe's. Right. Like, you don't come in here and just grab a bunch of tools like you're buying put in your shed, and then that's it. Exactly. Yeah. I'm like, I've got a lot of tools and I can help you out, but I'm not going to share a tool if you're just going to put it in the shed and let it collect dust. Yes. My view of coaching is very catalytic. So when a client comes in, they say, hey, this is what I'm working on. This is an area that I want to improve. Then I'm a great fit for that. If somebody is just going, I just want to want to pass some time, pick up some more tools. That is definitely a waste of my time and cash.
Well, and the other thing too is you care about the results that you get people. You care about that drives your business, the success that you have with people. It drives my business, the success that I have with people. And so if we're bringing in the wrong clients, that success is not going to be there. And it may not be anything we're doing or not doing, except that we're just not working with the right people. I have been in that spot. I know you said you have too. And the other thing too is people don't know what they don't know. And I know that's really cliche, but they think they need, I get this a lot of times. I want this thing, Ann. I want you to teach me how to do this. But I'm like, but that won't work unless the foundation is there and we start here. And then there's this, right? And then we can do the thing that you want to do. But I can't start building a roof. I can't put on a roof if there's no house, if there's no building, right? And and that happens a lot. A big piece of what I do is help people with their marketing, but it's not all of it. That is the third thing we really do with them is the marketing. We've got to get their offers and their foundation right. And then we've got to get their positioning right before we ever market at all. And so if people don't understand that, they're trying to that's why a lot of people invest in things that don't work, because all the pieces aren't there. There are still gaps. There are still misalignments. And I know you have the same thing. There's a process that you take people through.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to your point, like if you don't build out that foundation, then people are it's just going to take a whole lot longer to get to their results, and you help them shrink that time.
Exactly.
And I don't do that with marketing. I do that with core belief shifting. I don't believe you will ever outperform your mindset for long. You might go above it or below it for a little bit, but you're going to come back and hit level set very, very fast. Yeah. And so if you're wanting to get different results, we shift that core belief, we shift that internal mindset, and that's my sweet spot. And so if somebody is looking to do that and they want to get the results quicker, they hire me. If they want to learn it on their own, and then, that's fine. They can do that. There's a ton of books out there, so many books, so many resources. It's just going to take longer.
Well, you know what I say? They can take the horse and buggy, or they can take the jet plane.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's really what advisory, I call myself a strategic business growth advisor, but I don't call myself a coach anymore. But that is really what we do. We are the shortcut. We are speed to their success. For many years, when I was building businesses, I had to figure it all out myself. I didn't have a Jeff or an Ann or anyone else that could help me. I had to just figure it out. And now I really believe in the marketplace today, you'll be left behind if that's your attitude or the way you're trying to do your business, because business is moving so fast. Information is so fast.
Yeah. But I gotta ask you though, I have run into personally, and I've seen it in other people, there's this stigma that we have to do it on our own. And if we reach out and ask for help, that is a sign of weakness, or that's a sign of incapability, or that we are not qualified to go where we want to go. And so there's this internal drive to I'm just going to do it on my own. I'm going to pull myself up by my own bootstraps. Coaching is for other people. I went to high school. I went to college. I'm out. I know everything I need. And so if I do that, that's a different image. Did you ever experience that, or have you seen that in your clients?
So when I talked about the clients that weren't the right fit, that was one of the things. They didn't get it. They didn't get the value. They didn't understand that I was taking 30 years of experience and expertise and literally fast tracking their business. And so they didn't get it. So here's what I would say to that. They're not my people anymore. The people that I work with, and this is where, when you kind of level up the clients that you're working with, the people that are those higher level clients, they already get it. You don't have to convince them. Right. You don't have to try to sell your value. They're like, they hear you or they see you and they're like, you are someone I want to work with, or someone that I want help from. They already understand. They've already invested. So I would say those are not the right people. Until they're ready, they're not the right people. They're not ready for coaching or advisory or help. You can lead a horse to water, right? You know the saying, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make it drink.
Yeah, right. So
I think that's a Midwest cliche. I don't know.
But it's not a permanent thing. Like I think back to my own journey, and everything that I got growing up was, you are on your own. You've got to make it happen. And so if it is to be, it's up to me. That phrase.
Yeah, but that's old thinking, right? I mean,
well, yeah.
Somewhere new with old thinking. And really, that's outdated thinking. Like we have.
Hugely outdated.
If you live under a rock, you might think that way, but I don't know how anybody can think that way anymore, because we are so bombarded to know better and to know different in the marketplace today. So I have to think that if someone does have that thinking still, they either refuse to change, or they literally don't pay attention to what's in the world. I mean,
yeah, and that goes right back to core belief and mindset. So if that is a core belief that we've got, then even if we see it in the world, even if it's right in front of our face, we're not actually going to acknowledge it, because we're going to keep looking for anything that reinforces that belief. Yes. And so when I started my entertainment business, I'm not a business person, and I'm an artist. Like, that's where I was. And so learning how to put an LLC together, learning how to pay employees and independent contractors and handling all that stuff, I learned the hard way, and I didn't ask for help. I didn't ask for any coaches or mentors. And it wasn't until I ran into Jeff and we were just talking about focus. I'm like, I don't know how to say no, because if my work is my worth and my worth is my work, if I say no to work, it feels like I'm cutting off an arm, and I don't know how to do that. And so working with him opened my eyes to saying, oh, well, wait a minute, maybe it is okay. Maybe it's okay to ask for help. And so he was that entry point into being able to actively look for mentors on purpose. Changed everything.
And here's the thing. Some people will never be ready. Some people will be ready later. And then some people are now buyers. They are ready. They just didn't know about you. Once they see, oh my gosh, how did I not know about you? Have you ever had that? I've had people say that. How did I not ever know about you? Or how did I, it's like, well, I do the best I can, right, to get out there. But there are how many people in the world?
There's a lot. I once met somebody and she says, how have you not met me yet? I don't know.
I do have to say a funny story, though. So Jeff and I were talking about this. When I first met Jeff, when I was speaking at that expo, I remember I didn't have business cards because I wasn't out there networking anymore. Speaking, if I go do anything live, it's to speak. It's not, it's not networking or anything like that. And so, but I was teaching people online positioning, online marketing, how to really show up and all of those things. And I remember Jeff saying, how can I get a hold of you? And I said, Google me. And he laughed. I remember you laughing when you said, Google me. And I said, yeah, but I'm laughing because one of the reasons I wanted Jeff on the show is here we are years later and I'm watching him and he keeps showing up in my feed and LinkedIn. And I'm like, he is doing now what he laughed at me for. And now you can tell people, just Google me.
Just Google, yeah.
But it was just kind of a funny story. But I love what you're doing. So from the business side, where's your dream? Where do you want to go with your business? What's your big focus right now? Where do you see your business going in the next year or so? And then what's kind of hanging you up? Because we all have those as well. So 2 questions for you there.
So where am I going with the business? The focus over the next year is landing more keynotes. And so we're going to book more.
Wait. Didn't you say you don't want to do as many of those? I'm kidding. You said, I was burned out.
Not in 50, but if we do 20 to 40 of those, then that allows me the freedom and the flexibility to deliver more on the coaching side, to write my next book, but more importantly, to build out the financial foundation that I need to build my building in 3 years. So
what building? Tell us, we didn't talk about that.
Oh my gosh.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so the building's going to have 3 pieces. One part of the building is core authenticity. So that'll be my main office. We'll do one-on-one coaching there, group facilitation stuff, things like that, and my team. The second part of the building is my creative studio. my creative studio is a place where I can go and I can paint and I can shoot photography. I've got a cleaning team that will come in and clean it up, and then I can come back the next day and paint and shoot photography. It is just for Jeff. I've learned that I need that space. So, and it's hard to paint when you have cats and dog kids. Because next thing you know, like, I don't remember putting that streak across,
that's funny.
across the canvas.
Yeah,
or on my walls. Yeah. So creative studio, core authenticity office. And then the third part is a video production house. And the video production house is my way of giving back. So I've got 150 short film ideas. And so we'll hire people to do that. We're going to bring in key department heads that are experts in their field. And then everybody else is either a high school student, college student, or fresh, like young professional. And we'll pay them. But the whole point is for them to get real world experience, grow their network. But then we're going to train them up in business, not just in their craft, but this is how you can make money at it and have it sustainable and not just eat ramen noodles the rest of your life. And then we're going to teach them personal skills as well. And so everybody will be on a 3-year track. And after 3 years, they graduate. And so the idea is that we bring them in, we lift them up, and then we send them out. And so if anybody is still in the space in 3 years, it's because the production house has grown and there's a new position for them.
Interesting. Wow. I can't wait to watch that dream come true. That's going to be amazing. What do you see to be the challenges in that?
So this is very real and very fresh.
Okay.
It is the perfect time for this.
He discovered this dream right before he got on the show.
The dream, no. But the challenge was not identified when we first talked. Identified, and I'm making moves right now to address this. So my funnel for coaching and keynotes has been very dry. My clients are having incredible results, and the keynotes are on another level that they weren't at last year. However, the incoming requests have dropped off, and I didn't understand what was going on. Well, guess what, Ann? This might surprise you being in the marketing business, but you can run analytics on your website, on your campaigns, on everything else. And I wasn't doing that.
So you didn't know where everything was coming from.
Yeah. And so I just ran all of that stuff and was like, oh, here is the stopgap. We have people coming to the website, but then they're not going down this road, or they're not spending more time here. Why is that? What's going on? How can we help make this clearer? And so I'm actively taking steps to handle that now. And then I've reached out to another gentleman who wants to help me grow my keynote business. So he is looking to make some connections and things like that. So I'm being very intentional about my speaking mentor, this other guy that wants to make connections for me and help grow my business. And then being very intentional about the website and tracking the analytics and responding to them rather than pretending like they don't exist.
When you're doing your keynote, Jeff, your keynotes, you're getting paid for those? Do you find the sales are good on the back end if you're getting paid for keynotes, or would you prefer to speak basically for free to be able to offer your services? What have you found? I actually prefer to offer my services and speak. That's always been a bigger payday for me than getting paid to speak, but I'm curious what's yours in your business.
Yeah. Historically, coming into keynoting, I come from the entertainment background. So the whole point of the keynote was to provide value for the audience. It took me a long time to shift my mindset from I'm here to provide value in the moment to I'm here to provide value for you. And this is also
and grow my business.
To grow my business. Yeah. That took a little while. And I think sometimes I still struggle with that a bit because I'm so focused on empowering and encouraging in the moment.
That's great, but it doesn't pay the bills.
No. It's what makes me a really good coach because I'm 100% present here.
Sure.
And it also can be a challenge as a business owner because I'm not.
Yeah. It's a real thing in the coaching industry. We our natural value and really our natural core of who we are is to give and serve and care about people and all of that. But yes, I come from building businesses. So for me, it was not a challenge to do that. It's like, this is another business and I get to impact and change people's lives. Like, there's nothing better than that, right? But for people that are stepping into like the coaching or the consulting space, they have this heart to make a difference and help people, but they're not really learning the business side of it. And it really makes it tough because they burn out too. You can't do that forever and try to build this up and not make money at it. It just won't. It won't work for the long term.
It's got to be a funnel. It can't. They can't be one-off events. And so I think right now most of it is focused on not giving away the talk and then booking more work on the back end. It is selling the talk, and then bringing people into my inner circle and a bunch of other follow-up offers.
Who makes the best client for you? And not from a core standpoint, not from cores and values and things that I know we already discussed that, but who are you specifically looking for? Like, where are they at in their business? What types of business? You're talking about keynotes in corporate. Are they typically your clients, or are small businesses typically your clients? Like, who makes that good client for you?
So there's two different types of people. There's the keynote prospect, and then there's my coaching prospect. So are we talking keynotes or coaching?
Mainly your coaching. Yes.
So for coaching, it's the person that is the high achiever. They have achieved a lot in their business. They are considered successful in their industry. And now they're ready to master their relationship with the achievement, in that they have most likely, they're not afraid of hard work and they're not afraid of sacrifice. The issue is that they have sacrificed the life they want to build the life they want. And so they just keep pushing it down. And someday we'll be able to retire. Someday I'll be able to be present in my marriage. And they've woken up and they're like, wait a minute, I'm in my marriage, but I'm not in my marriage. Or I have kids, but I don't really have kids.
A thing.
Yeah, I want friends. Where did my friends go? And then they've lost clarity of the next step. They've lost the fulfillment that they used to feel, and their success is no longer sustainable, and they find themselves having to continue to push and sacrifice. So my ideal coaching client, the person that best fits with me, is somebody that's hit this level and they're like, nope, I'm done. I'm done with the unhealthy sacrifice, and I want the clarity. I want to renew my fulfillment, and I want that sustainable success.
So how are you getting clients? So if the keynote is more for the corporate side of and the entertainment and everything that you're doing there, how are you getting your coaching clients? What's working best for you right now?
I love that question, especially on the heels of all of my analytics work. So right now, the best way I'm getting coaching clients is I do a free mastermind. Right now. It's an 11-part series. We do it once a month for the entire year of 2026. And so I get coaching clients through that. Those are recorded and we put those up on my YouTube channel.
Is that virtual or live?
It is both.
Okay.
You get more value out of it being live. Obviously, it's out in Chesterfield, Missouri. We have it at the Undivided Wealth Center with Gary Baker's place. So there's that, and then that's free to attend. And then I have my Inner Circle program where I do live coaching twice a month. And that's all virtual. So people log in, they have their coaching questions, and we do a coaching hot seat. And so people can get a sample of my coaching style that way. And then I've got my Ask Coach Jeff videos that I've started putting out on YouTube. I've started doing an informal reading of my books on YouTube. So those are new, but right now it's mostly asking my past clients for referrals and then the mastermind.
Very cool. Jeff, you've been an open book. I really appreciate it. This has been a fun conversation. And thanks. I know you have a giveaway for everyone. So I will let you talk about that now as we wrap up.
Yeah. So I just want to thank you for having me and thank all of your listeners for hanging with us and spending time. This time is incredibly valuable. You don't get it back. So thanks for listening and for just being here. I want to going back to what you said, the heart of coaching. I want to give, I want to support. So I've got a free offer for you for listening to Expert in You. You just go to coreauthenticity.com/X, all squished together, one big word. And you can get a download there to help you shift from your performance mentality into the performer mentality, to start separating your work and your worth. And it's really built around the champion challenger mindset. So that is available on coreauthenticity.com/expert in you. There'll be some more information right there, so you can check it out.
Yeah, we'll put that in the show notes. We'll put all of his information in the show notes. You can find him on LinkedIn as well. And you can Google him. Just Google him.
Just Google me, Ann. Just Google me.
Jeff, it's been great. Thank you so much for being here. It's just been so much fun. And again, just to be able to interview someone in my local market is always fun when I do that. So yeah, I appreciate it so much.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. All right, everyone. Thank you again for tuning in to another episode of Expert in You. And look, if you are amazing at what you do in your business, but your business has not quite caught up to the level of your expertise, and you feel like you should be getting higher paying clients, you should be seen at the top of your market and more recognized, then reach out to me and let's book an elevation call and I will show you how you can elevate in the market to get paid more for what you're already doing. I'm Ann Carden. Book a call at acarden.com. And thank you again for being here. God bless you all. And until next week, I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
The content of this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. Although I share strategies, ideas, and success stories based on real experiences, results are never guaranteed. Every business is unique, and outcomes depend on individual effort, market conditions, and many other factors. By listening, you agree that I and my guests are not responsible for your results or actions based on the content shared. Thank you for tuning in today. If you're as excited as I am about scaling up your influence, business, and bank account, then I have just the thing for you. But first, make sure you subscribe to the show. Second, make sure you share it with someone you care about, because sharing is caring. And third, head on over to join me in my next free virtual exclusive workshop, where we'll explore proven strategies to boost your business and maximize your potential. Look, it doesn't matter if you're just starting out or if you're looking to take your business to the next level, my workshops are designed for you. So head on over to expertinyouworkshop.com to reserve your spot and get ready to transform your expertise into extraordinary success. I'm looking forward to seeing you there and helping you achieve incredible growth. Until next time, make sure you're always seeking the expert in you, and God bless. Have an amazing day.